Tensions are escalating in South America. In August 2025, the United States increased its reward offer to $50 million for the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. And a couple of weeks later, Venezuela mobilized troops to the Colombian border, just as American ships joined regional anti-cartel operations. Although symbolic, those drastic moves by Washington and Caracas underscore a puzzling reality. Despite years of economic collapse and crippling sanctions, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro remains firmly in power. It forces us to ask some critical questions. How does this government survive? Who exactly is holding it all together? And why we will not see its collapse anytime soon? If you're interested in learning more about what happens beyond the headlines, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because in our world, every move matters. To understand today's Venezuela, we must mention the controversial legacy of Hugo Chavez. He won the presidency in 1998 and launched his Bolivarian Revolution, a socialist project fueled by its vast oil wealth. While high oil prices initially funded popular social programs, his policies of nationalizing industries and imposing price controls effectively dismantled Venezuela's private sector. The economy became dangerously dependent on oil exports, a textbook case of the Dutch disease. And when Chavez died in 2013, he left his hand-picked successor, Nicolás Maduro, to inherit a system teetering on the edge of total collapse. But as the Venezuelan economy crumbled, Maduro's government did not. Its survival has been carefully engineered by a tight circle of powerful individuals who control the state and have everything to lose if the regime falls. The regime's most prominent figure is Diosdado Cabello, the vice president of the ruling United Socialist Party of Venezuela, or PSUV. A participant in the 1992 Chavista coup attempt, Cabello leads the party's hardline faction and commands its vast political machinery. Nicknamed the Octopus for his widespread influence in the country's political, military, and economic spheres, he has been charged by the United States with narcoterrorism as an alleged leader of the Cartel of the Suns, a network of officials involved in international drug trafficking. Then, the government's most prominent public face is often Delcy Rodríguez, the vice president of Venezuela and former minister of foreign affairs. She manages the state's daily operations and is a primary spokesperson for its policies. As a top diplomat, she is a key asset in negotiating investments with allies like China and Russia, which help the regime bypass Western sanctions. Next, there is the ultimate guarantor of the regime's stability, the military, whose loyalty is ensured by General Vladimir Padrino López. As Minister of Defense since 2014, he's one of the most powerful people in the country. Maduro has given the military leadership a direct stake in the system's survival. In 2016, he put Padrino López in command of the distribution of food and medicine in the nation's main ports. This gives the military control over vast economic resources, turning their loyalty into a matter of financial self-interest. Also operating within this inner circle is Maduro's wife, Cilia Flores. She is a revolutionary veteran and a major power broker. Her influence is deeply rooted in the judicial and political systems. And this power structure is reinforced by the legal system led by Tarek William Saab, Prosecutor General since 2017. Critics say he directs the judicial persecution of political opponents, journalists, and activists. His actions are crucial for suppressing dissent and maintaining a climate of fear, effectively eliminating any potential challenges to the established order. But despite this inner circle of powerful individuals, no ally is completely safe from the regime's internal purges. The dramatic downfall of Tarek el-Aissami is the clearest example. Once the powerful vice president and oil minister, El Aissami was the regime's key architect in the financial schemes used to evade sanctions. In 2023, the regime's number 2 vanished from public life, only to be arrested a year later in a massive corruption scandal known as the PDVSA crypto case. The scheme allegedly diverted $20 billion from state oil sales using cryptocurrency. The move against El Aissami's network was far more likely to be a political power play than a corruption investigation. A scheme of this magnitude would have been impossible to carry out without Maduro's knowledge. El Aissami had built an influential power base and headed his own political faction within the regime. In reality, his downfall served as a means to rebalance power and send a convenient message from Maduro: no one is untouchable. After all, friends make the worst enemies. This inner circle employs a strategy based on 3 pillars that merge statecraft with illicit activities to keep the government afloat. First, the regime exploits illicit economies for hard currency. With official oil revenues essentially stalled, the regime relies on operations like the unregulated gold mining in the Orinoco Mining Arc. This area is often controlled by military elements and criminal groups, which directly enriches the armed forces under Vladimir Padrino López, that cements and buys the military's loyalty. This complements other illicit activities such as the alleged drug trafficking linked to the Cartel of the Suns, a network the US claims involves top government officials like Diosdado Cabello. Second, the government leverages its foreign alliances, a portfolio managed directly by top diplomat Delcy Rodríguez. She's essential in negotiating investments with allies like Iran, China, and Russia, creating an alternative economic system immune to Western pressure. These relationships are crucial for complex sanction evasion schemes like using ghost tankers for secret oil transfers, which were once architected by figures like the now disgraced Tarek al-Aissami. Finally, the entire leadership stokes nationalism to boost domestic legitimacy. The aggressive renewal of its claim over the oil-rich Essequibo region, governed by Guyana, serves this purpose. By holding a referendum and local sham elections and making militaristic threats, Maduro and his inner circle aim to rally the population around the flag and divert attention from its severe problems at home. The narrative of Venezuela as a simple failed state is often incomplete. The regime's resilience lies in its profound transformation. In Caracas, the state has not failed. It has simply adapted its business model. It has evolved into a hybrid system where state power is fused with transnational criminal enterprises. Enterprises it actively controls and profits from. Sanctions may have unintentionally sped up this change, forcing the regime to build a decentralized financial structure that is hard to target. The government's survival is a story of reinvention, sustained by an enriched elite that has everything to lose from its collapse. For Maduro, survival is not a political goal. It is the only ideology left. For those in power in Caracas, there is but one rule: hunt or be hunted. This, it's just geopolitics. Is this a uniquely Venezuelan crisis or the future of how rogue states survive? And if you want to learn more about politics and international affairs, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.